Welcome back to the channel. Once again here we are going to be speaking about AMC. Today is Sunday, tomorrow is obviously Monday, so we are going back into trading, and you know what? We have a lot to speak about. This weekend has been intense for us AMC shareholders for many reasons. Friday was pretty intense, obviously down by about 6.68%. Now again, some people will have been panicking at that, fair enough, but obviously in the whole context of the past week, it didn't really matter, as we started off the week, if we do have a look, on Monday, actually it was Tuesday last week, so we started off on Tuesday rather, at a price of around $30. We hit highs in that week of about $67, so you can see that obviously we took a big piece of growth, and finishing off at $47, it was still a decent trend upwards, and that is what I think people do need to remember. I've spoken about this in our last two videos, which I did perhaps about 2 or 3 days ago. I would recommend watching them because I do find them quite informative rather. I think, you know what, AMC, people are panicking, but what we have seen with a lot of short squeezes in the past, sometimes the prices do actually go down by quite a decent amount before they do start to rise and before the stock does start to squeeze. So overall, I am not too, intimidated by the price decreasing in the past 2 or 3 days of trading last week. I don't think it is too big of a deal when we look at the wider picture. But anyway, that's not financial advice, and this video contains only my opinions, so do remember that. If you want financial advice, go speak to your financial advisor, but if you do want to hear my opinions, make sure to give this video a like, and of course, subscribe to the channel, as we do talk about AMC all the time. So yeah, this one's going to be quite a quick one, but we are going to talk about a lot of the things which I do think are important going into tomorrow, which is Monday. First things first, a lot of people are obviously continuing to spread FUD. Now again, FUD is everywhere, but we have actually had some interesting piece of news come out in the past week or so. Now one thing which people are talking about all over StockTwits and Reddit is what that person from, I believe it was CNBC, that woman, that Melissa Lee, I believe it was, what she said about the potential of synthetic shares and naked shorts being out there. Now, people consider this as CNBC basically exposing the practices which are out there, and again, maybe that's true, but I do think it is, if nothing else, a great way for a lot of people to now look at AMC and think, you know what, AMC is an interesting play. I think a lot of people who didn't potentially know about AMC before may now be jumping on this one, as when we look at how it has been moving, obviously AMC, or at least naked shorts, is trending on Twitter, and it has been for some time now. So clearly it's getting a lot of, momentum and traction, and people are becoming more interested. So that really stirred things up a bit, and again, it could have exposed some facts. We don't know for sure, so we have to say it's alleged, but one thing that we do know is it got a lot of people talking about what is going on with the whole AMC situation, because a lot of people think this is not news to anybody, as people have been talking about naked shorting and all this sort of practices for a long time. But you know what, to have it out there on the mainstream media, well, it definitely gets to a lot more people. So again, that is something good that came out in the last few days, but obviously we still do have a lot of people spreading this doubt around AMC. Now again, whether you want to believe that is completely up to you. I personally do not believe any of it. I have done my research and I am definitely sticking to that. I think that there is a strong potential for this one to go much higher in price, and for that reason I am definitely sticking to it. Now again, if you do not agree, obviously feel free to sell, but I think most people here have been here for quite a long time. I think to give up at this late stage of the game, for me at least, would be quite stupid, so I am definitely not selling my position in AMC. Whether you want to or not is completely up to you. So we've had a few things which people have been talking about, and this is something which I want to get clear into the next week. So we've had people talk about floors for AMC. Some people are saying that 100k is a floor. Some people are saying that mathematically the floor could be around 2 to 3k. Other people are saying that we don't know where the floor is, and the floor could be as high as the apes want it to be. Now, all of these things are potentially true in its own way, so let's, go through all of these in their own way. So you've heard the maths before. If you've not heard it, make sure to Google it on Reddit, or just have a look into it, because it is all over the place. Some people are saying that the logical top which this one could hit is about $2,500. Now again, I've heard a lot of people talk about this. People's opinions, generally speaking, range from about $2,000 to about $3,000. So I'm just going to go in the middle and say some people believe this one could hit within that price range. And again, that is apparently going on the data that we do have. Now this is, potentially good, because for this one to hit $2,000 would be fantastic. I'm sure you guys can agree. And a lot of people are criticising this data though, because as I have spoken about before, it is possibly the case that we do not know how many synthetic shares are out there. And again, If that is the case, if we have more shares out there than what we think, or if the data for some reason is wrong, we could hit a floor which is much higher than what people are saying in that data. So that is something to be aware of. Now let's look at another thing which people are saying about the potential of a 100k floor. Now this also ties in with the third point which I was making about the potential of people holding this one for as long as they like, and then obviously having the potential to determine their own floor. Now I think both of these things are possible. Now again, whether it does happen or not, you can decide for yourself. I'm not here to give you an opinion on that, but I think it is somewhat true. It is just basic, science of supply and demand. Obviously, if you need to buy back these shares, then, you will have to pay what people are selling them for. And this goes, into a real world example. For example, if you need some medication and you can only buy it for one place in the world, obviously that place could potentially charge whatever they do like. Now again, it's a very loose example. I'm sure we could think of a better one, but I think you guys do understand the basics of it at this stage of the game. So again, AMC price going into next week, I think it could be decent. And again, going into the squeeze, I think we could hit highs. But I think, the next week is going to be quite crucial for many, many reasons. But yes, for people who are wondering what the floor is, nobody knows for sure, that's just facts, but obviously make sure to do your own research, find what you think the floor is. And this is something which I have said from, quite a long time ago. I think the floor is not necessarily important. I think what you are happy to sell for is your floor, and again, that is potentially good for you. Again, if you do not want to follow that, if you do want to do your own ideas, that's completely fine, as this is not financial advice, but that is just my thoughts on this thing. Now let's have a look over to Stonko Tracker. So Stonko Tracker always does show us some interesting information, and here they have some interesting information going forwards into the future. Now a lot of people are talking about the price hopefully remaining at this level, if not higher, for June the 18th. Now, why are they talking about this? If you look at June the 18th, which is this line down here, we can see that June the 18th, calls which are potentially in the money are 423,000, and puts which are out of the money 407,000. A big deal, and something which is not to be sniffed at. I think this is potentially a big thing going forwards, as it could help the price to increase even more. So people are waiting for these calls to be in the money, and again, if it is in the money, if it does remain in the money, it will just give more apes potential to buy more shares and obviously force the price up even more. So I think what we are seeing now with AMC is we are seeing this movement continue to grow. I think that these whole manipulation tactics, they worked for so long in the market, as we do know, but I think right now they're kind of running out. A lot of the apes, most of the apes, aren't even scared of this FUD anymore. They have stuck to their own research. I think going into the next week, even with the price decreases that we have seen, even with the price decreases that we may go on to see in the next week, nobody is really bothered anymore. Now there's that image, isn't there, with people digging in a diamond mine and being 1 inch away from the diamonds, and people say, don't be that guy. I kind of do see where they're coming from with the AMC situation, because it does appear to be the case that we are so clear to, or so close rather, to the event that we are looking for. I do not think it is my position to sell right now, as we have waited so long, and we are possibly even becoming so close to what we are waiting to see. That's just my thoughts and opinions though. And one last thing which I actually forgot until I was editing the video, is the most important actually, because this is something which we do need to remember from 3 days ago. This article written on June the 3rd, it is from Yahoo Finance, and it says that Jefferies blocks short sellers in GameStop, AMC and Microvision. It does appear to be the case now that the big money is realizing that it's not a smart decision to short AMC and perhaps even these other stocks anymore. I think that is something which we are seeing more and more often. I think this is a big deal. Let's look at the facts, guys. Let's look at what people are thinking. And again, it doesn't appear to be the case anymore that people are shorting AMC as much, especially with Jefferies as well, obviously restricting people actually selling short on AMC and these other stocks as well. Just something to think about and just something to add into the video. So I will leave you on that note. Goodbye, I'll see you soon.